Hey, Facebook world, ladies and gentlemen. It looks like my last post did not set in. So I want to do a really quick one before I knock out because I want to give everybody great value. I really do. That's my goal in life is to give everyone great value. So moving forward in your life, not only will you succeed and achieve, but you'll go to the forefront of achievement. So I always want to give you great value. That's the reason why I do these talks. Uh, I read these books and it changed my life. And I know that it could change yours as well. So, the 48 Laws of Power. It's a very controversial book. It's one of the most controversials, and people always have uh, large opinions of them. And I'm sorry, give me 1 second. And I had a talk with a buddy named Eric of mine, and he was having a conversation on a chat where he asked, "Does anybody else think the 48 Laws of Power is a joke?" And just to say the least, he had some not so positive reactions. And it happens. It happens. To me personally, I love the book. I think it's a book of strategy. See, we have to understand if you really want to be successful, follow the successful people. All the successful people throughout history had a plan and a strategy. Have you ever heard of the 6 P's? No? You have to be prepared. And in these strategies, that's what the 48 Laws of Power are. Some people look at these books and think, oh, 48 Laws of Power, because they misunderstand power. They think power means manipulation, a monarch, placing others below you so you can achieve, which is wrong. Power is internal. All sages, all priests, all wise men throughout history understand that the power is conducting yourself in a certain way that you are in control at all times versus others controlling you. See, I was just reading a book called Power versus Force. And force is what people do when they try to manipulate you and push you into doing something. Versus power is what you do for yourself. It's a big difference. So the 48 Laws of Power, law number 2. Why not to be friended? Why be careful of friends? And we've all had people in our lives in the past that have done us wrong. That showed us by words alone that they were for us. But in action proved that they were not. We have to remember 87% of communication is nonverbal. So I had a friend, a buddy of mine for a very long time, and we were great friends. But I remember as our split started coming, as I started growing as a man, as a person, as a human being, and I started seeing the world broader, and I wanted more out of life, I could tell he wanted to be stuck in the same position. So what people do, instead of rushing behind you, say, "Hey man, I want to go too," what they do is they want to hold you back. They want to stay positioned like a tree and tie a rope around you and hold you back. Why? It's easier that way, I guess. Versus pushing yourself. I'll give you an example. So this friend of mine, what he would to do is as I was growing, he would give me looks. I would never tell him that I noticed them, but I like to stay quiet sometimes. And when I talked about, hey, I'm doing this now, and I'm about to drop another book, and all these different things that I was excited for, versus being my friend and being excited for me, he kind of gave me the looks. And it bothered me for a while because I'm thinking, we're friends. And I realized I cannot bring this person with me on my journey. they're a cancer. Any person that does not have your best interest fully at heart and invested, then they cannot be part of your mastermind team. You cannot do business with them, and you cannot do anything bigger than yourself with them. Why? Because they'll hold you down, one, or two, I hate to use the word jealousy, because I don't think that fits perfectly. But they feel some type of way that you're a reflection of them. Meaning, as you grow, you are a representation of what they could have been. Or you're a reflection of what they're not. And people get offended. Your success offends people. Very low energy people, but affects them nonetheless. Especially if you grew up in the same environment and you guys came in the same way. Their ideas is, how is this person went to the same school, the same neighborhood as me? How are they there and I'm here? It doesn't make sense. If you understood the laws of success, that, shameless plug. Shameless plug. When you know the laws of success, you realize why. So again, not to give too far off the subject. So with this friend, I realized I couldn't bring them with me. Another example, why you should not work with too many friends, you have to be careful, is I had a buddy, he started a brand new business. And he was excited about it. He said, Rich, we just got the facilities. We just opened up. We're about to start in 3 weeks. I said, awesome, man. I was like, who's going to be on your team? He said, I'm going to hire a couple of my buddies. I said, awesome. I talked to him about 2 months after. And I said, hey, man, how's going the business? He said, the business is going good. So what happened with your buddy? You guys still working together? He said, I had to let him go. I'm like, really? Why? He didn't show up for work. He would keep calling in. And he would act like we were just hanging out at work. He would keep coming to my office, talking to me, bothering me, and I had clients in there. And what he's telling me is that when you hire a friend sees you not as a boss, not as somebody that we're moving forward together, but my buddy that I could just joke around with. But if it's something that you find important to you, and this is part of your well-being, this is your income, you cannot let somebody, even if it's a friend or a family, take away what you have built. In the 48 Laws of Power, law number 2, if you ever read the chapter, I love this book, by the way. I would advise anybody to read it. The king had a friend that he used to know growing up in the stables. He became king while his friend became a stablemate. Feeling sorry for his buddy, he offers him a job and says, be my stablemate for the kingdom court. Of course, the friend is ecstatic. He's like, yes, of course. Get me out of here, out of poverty. Of course, let's do it. So he does it. And throughout the years, the king increases his levels until he becomes in charge of the royal army. Has him be one of his courtiers, getting to know the rest of the additional allies of other countries. His friend became powerful. But the king wasn't worried because he said, well, this is my buddy from years before. It doesn't matter, right? We're both powerful. No. Understand that when you give people favors, people like to feel that they earned it themselves. And you make them feel insecure that you reached certain high levels and they don't want to feel that it was out of pity that you gave it to them. So what the friend realized, I have more power than the king. I have more allies in the court. I have the army behind me. So he plays a game with him. He said the only person that could stop his plan was the king's uncle. So he tells the king, I don't trust your uncle. I feel like your uncle's plotting against the throne. Paranoid, the king says, well, I have to believe my friend. My friend's been my friend for years now. So he assassinates the uncle. Realizing, the friend, that nobody else is in his way except for one more person, which is the king. And he takes the king's head, puts it on a pike, and waves around the city to show the citizens that I'm the new king. With a friend, you have to be very, very careful, because you may think this person has your best interest at heart when, unfortunately, it could be the opposite, where they have their best interests at heart, but they're using you to get to where they want to go. That's why I rather work with in this journey of mine, I've had more support from strangers than I had for friends that I've grown up with. Why? I believe you're a reflection of what they could have been and what they're not. So when you are a reflection of that, it makes them feel uncomfortable. I've had buddies of mine that when we were in the same level, we could talk all the time. But as I started growing as myself and becoming the person I wanted to be, I saw those relationships dwindle. And where they talk to me, and it sounds weird, it's a very awkward conversation, where they feel awkward speaking to me. And I'm like, I'm still the same guy. Only thing to change about me is I try to elevate myself as much as I possibly can, because at life you have to keep growing. If you're not growing, you're dying. You're dying, literally. So in that, I wanted to go forward. I wanted to move forward. But while others kept looking at me strangely, coming at me and say, hey, Rich, hey, congratulations on the book, buddy. Like, hey, like we were friends before. Like, I'm just some stranger. And it's the weirdest thing, where I had more support from absolute strangers I've just met. Say, Rich, I love this book. I love this idea. I want to support you. How can I help? Versus friends I've known for years, never picked up a phone, never came by to support. And I'm not bitter. I'm not upset about it. That's not at all my tone. My tone is to get through to you to say that when you're dealing in the arena of life, you must have a strategy. And your strategy, you have to watch the people that are around you. If your friends or your buddies or the people that you spend your time with do not have your best interest at heart and are not moving in the same direction, disregard them. You are becoming oil. They are remaining water. It will not mix. Your conversations won't be the same. If I want to talk about strategies and, hey, I read The Secret. Have you read it? Oh, no, I haven't read it. Oh, hey, man, I read How to Grow Friends and Influence People. It's an awesome book. You should read it. Hey, I just got the Tony Robbins Money Master the Game. It got great strategies in it. Let's do some investments. It just won't work. That's why any successful person you'll ever talk to will tell you, I surround myself with like-minded individuals. Why? I don't have to worry about them. They're moving forward. I'm moving forward. All we're doing is say, let's do it together. While most people will want to stay put and say, don't go, stay here with me. Reason why I think people think the 48 Laws of Power is such a weird book or an evil book is they don't understand true power. Again, the power is controlling of yourself, not the manipulation of others. If I could say, let me watch who I hang out with, that's me taking a strategy on myself. I'm not doing anything to anybody else, but that's how I conduct myself in a way that would show that the only way to move forward is to move forward with people that can move forward with you. I love my team. I joined the elite group, awesome people. I joined the Les Brown group, awesome people. Toastmasters, awesome people. Why? Because they have my best interest at heart. They say, Rich, we see what you're doing. Keep going, buddy. Keep going. Because you know you're not a reflection of us. You're a representation of us. Big difference. Big difference. So again, guys, I truly hope you understand what power really is. It's not manipulation. It's internal calmness and control of oneself, not the control of others. So again, in moving forward in your life, if you really want to achieve, audit your friends, audit the people you're around, and you'll see once you start growing in life, they'll start dwindling. They'll start dwindling because like attracts like, and once you are not like them, they'll stop calling. Unfortunately, but stay on your course. Your journey is way more worth the sacrifice of losing a few friends. And reason why they say befriend enemies is if you have a competitor, imagine you're in a marketplace and you have a competitor and you guys are going back and forth at each other, trying to make it. Once the market starts going down, you'll realize, hey, we might need each other. And if you befriend that competitor and say, hey, let's get together, join as one company to attack the market, you'll be better off because that competitor will do everything to gain your trust again. But a friend will be the same person that will smile in your face, tell you everything that they know you want to hear while plotting behind you. It's unfortunate, and not everybody's like this, but some are. So that's why you should always audit your friends. Oh, hey, Linda. Hey, I met Linda when I worked at K Jewelers. She showed me her book, and this is when I was interested in writing my first book. Hey, Linda, you're awesome, and I wish it wasn't true, but you are so right about friends. All the best to you. Great listening to you. Never stop. Linda, thank you so much. You inspired me to actually pursue my first book, and I'm going through my second and my third this year. So thank you. And guys, ladies and gentlemen, it's just what it is. There's three types of people. There's people that are operating on a very low energy frequency, a mid energy frequency, and a high energy frequency. And unfortunately, majority of the people you're going to meet is going to be on a low energy frequency. And those people just don't want you to succeed, unfortunately. And it's not they don't want you to succeed. They want you to succeed, but just not further than them. Hey, you coming back to Florida? Come see me when you do. Or come hit me up and write me, and we'll definitely have lunch. And I want to thank you personally. So, guys, ladies and gentlemen, I don't want to keep too much of your time. I just want to give you great value. I know this is stuff you already know, but understand when you conduct yourself with strategies for achievement, you will win. I look at the great Popovich when he did the Hack-a-Shack. Most people were upset. They said, oh, he's slowing the game down and making it boring. Shaq can't shoot free throws. And he knew this. So that's why he established the Hack-a-Shack, to send Shaq to the free throws. And most people say that's cheating, but his 5 rings, championships, will say something different. Have a strategy. The 48 Laws is just a strategy. And if you enter in a game without a strategy, you're planning to fail. All right, guys. Either you could agree with me or not agree with me, but either way, I felt like this was a successful conversation. All right, man. Ladies, gentlemen, it was great for you guys to come, and I hope I gave you some great knowledge, some great information, some great content for you to take with you through your week and through your life and through your journey of maximum achievement.